On the count of three, I want you to quickly look surprised. 1, 2, and 3. Here's my surprised face. Here's my not surprised face. Yeah, that's because this story, Zero Head, shouldn't even kind of be a surprise. And but I will say, it has been quite some time since I've had to come out here and mention the word Portugal. Remember pigs, P-I-I-G-S, pigs in Portugal, India, Ireland, whatever, Greece. Portugal has always been in trouble. Just like you could argue, so has Greece, Cyprus was, the entire EU, German banks, Italian banks. I've been covering this crap daily. So yeah, Portugal is part of that. But Portugal isn't some huge nation either. But they got them some problems. So when I see a headline like this, that the bank bosses are quitting, stepping down before potential bailout, tells me. And from what I understand, these people just got the job. They just got the job. Walk in the front door, and I'm walking out the back door. I looked at those books, and I've seen some cookbooks in my time, but holy Jesus, I'm in and out. Same door. Walk in the front, step out the back. I kind of feel like that might have been what happened, to be honest with you. Portuguese bank bonds, Novo Banco and Sexia, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Geral de Depositos, are sliding today, with sovereign yields hovering near Brexit highs, as Associated Press reports that the new president of the country's biggest bank, when you hear those words, you should be frightened. Biggest bank, too big to fail, largest bank by assets, largest bank by customers, that should be like a terrifying slur that just frightens you to death when you hear that word. The biggest bank, that sort of talk, or the top 3 bank, So the new as AP reports, the new president of the country's biggest bank and 6 board members have quit less than 3 months after starting work. We're going to go in here. We're going to pull a line from Donald Trump. We're going to make the Portuguese banks great again. I got my crack team of 6 board members. I got myself. We are going to make the banks great again. Yeah, get in there, fix that, clean that mess up. All right. Oh, hey, where are you going? Why are you cleaning your desk off? Those 6 experts you brought in, what are they doing? They're cleaning their desks off. What's happening? Yeah, listen, about that promise I made, make the banks in Portugal great again. I was just kidding. And not only am I leaving here, I'm leaving the damn country, because that bank is a ticking time bomb of epic proportions, as Warren Buffett once said about the derivatives. These things are financial instruments of weapons of mass destruction, financial weapons of mass destruction. And I got an idea that the new president and his 6 board members have seen something. They've seen the books. And they know, we understood that when we got, this is me speaking, but we got in here, expected to see some book cooking because, well, frankly, all banks have to do book cooking or else they're insolvent. So we kind of expected to see some of that. But what we saw frightened, almost stopped our hearts. And we can't even look at the books anymore. We're out. We're leaving. Could you imagine what someone must see in that level? Who dare not say what he saw? Just that, I'm going to go ahead and resign. You are the president of the largest bank in Portugal. You know what kind of money he's probably getting. In other words, this is where I'm going. You know what kind of payday he's getting. His 6 board members, you know what kind of payday they're getting. And to walk away from that, they must have seen something absolutely terrifying in those books. I'm here to tell you. I don't have to know. I don't even have to read the rest of this article. I can already tell you that is a guarantee. And they probably know on top of it, in order to fix even what we saw, and this will be just temporary again, we're going to need another bailout. And that's just the beginning. Because we're going to be going off the cooked book numbers. And then reality will set in a little while later, and we're going to need another bigger bailout. And we know the people have had enough. And for that reason, we're going to go ahead and pack up and leave. That's Jason Ford's take on this. But now as AP reports, the troubles at Portugal's biggest bank by assets, state-owned Caixa Geral de Depósitos, are deepening as its new president and 6 board members have quit less than 3 months after starting work. The resignations come amid a dispute over a law demanding that the bank's senior officials make public their income and personal assets. Now, hold on a second. Now, that's an interesting take on things. The resignations come amid a dispute over a law which demands that the bank's senior officials, which would be the board members and the president, make public their income and personal assets. The departures are at a sensitive time as the government readies €5.1 billion rescue plan for the bank. The bank informed financial regulators of the developments Monday. The government says the rescue will proceed as planned next year. So they are going to get a bailout to start with. Analysts say poor lending practices and unpaid loans are to blame for financial difficulties at this bank and in the Portuguese banking sector, generally speaking. Okay. 2 things there. Poor lending practices and unpaid loans. Let's see if I can decipher what that means. This is a tough one. Boy, this is real tough. Well, what happened in America? Ninja loans. No income, no jobs. Everyone's approved. So you could get a house without a job, correct. You could also get a house with income that you don't actually make. You just say you make it, correct. That would be bad or poor lending practices, I would say, which would then lead to what? People who can't pay those bills are kicked out of the houses, defaulted, foreclosure, causing a bunch of foreclosed homes to rapidly get on the market, pushing prices down, which would cause the banks who are holding those notes, those mortgages, to not get paid on them anymore. Therefore, they've got these loans out, they put the money out, but there ain't no one paying it back. We need a bailout. By George, I think I just figured it out. Poor lending practices equals unpaid loans. Boy, that was tough. Telling you, guys, I got to ask you for a raise. I need to ask you for a raise. Is that okay? Oh, wait, I have to make public my income and my personal assets? Never mind. I don't need a raise anymore. I'd rather not share that information. My question is, seriously, is that really the reason? It's pretty much public. I mean, you can find out what people make. Is that the real reason these people stepped down just 3 months into this? Jason Ford Spider Senses are saying, no, I don't believe so. In a recent report, Barclays estimated that Portuguese lenders could end up needing €7.5 billion to resolve a systemic banking crisis that was bringing the country under close market scrutiny. In other words, as Zero Hedge detailed before, just like Italy unexpectedly needs $50 billion to start of a bailout, suddenly Portugal also seems to need a $7.5 billion to start bailout. Financial Times adds, investors fear the capital needs of banks could further burden the public finances of a struggling country already facing potential EU sanctions for failing to meet deficit targets. Actually, judging by historical precedent, fear is not the right word for what investors feel when it comes to taxpayer bailouts. Some banks are in need of a large capital injection, chief economist European economist with Barclays said. This means any material losses from the sale of Nova Banco could end up having to be met by the sovereign, as the capacity of Portuguese banks to absorb them is rather limited. And when Antonio says the sovereign, he means you, the taxpayer. Because let's not forget, when we did the banker bailout in this country, America, we found out later, after the fact, of course, an enormous amount of that money also went to our buddy banks in the UK, or Eurozone. Not just the UK, the Eurozone, European Union. So when I say taxpayers, I'm really meaning them, and not, in Portugal. However, since we're all interconnected and we saw how interconnected we were last time around, I think it might be safe to say we're going to find some money somehow from America, or just the Federal Reserve through a back door, like they always do, goes over there, and they just increase their balance sheet all of a sudden. So, Portugal, back on the radar. It's been a couple years or so since I've had to talk about Portugal. Portugal, as I said then, I'll say it now, same with Spain. They may go away for a little while, but they are coming back for the same reasons I talk about our country with the national debt. Did that $20 trillion debt just wipe? Did someone forgive that debt to us? Nope. Still owe it. For that reason, we're in deep trouble. Did anyone change anything in Portugal? Did they owe a ton of money? Are they having the same banking problems we have? Do they practice the same banking scandals, cooking the books, bad loan practices that the rest of the banks do? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So, I got a sneaky suspicion it's going to end the same way everywhere. And I hope you got some precious metals for that rainy day. It might not be pretty. Take care.